A new year means a new season of our streaming show KSAT Explains. This show takes one topic, it goes in depth, giving it more context and perspective.
KSAT Explains producer Lexi Salazar and host of the show Myra Arthur have a preview of the team's brand new episode.
We are coming to you from a very busy KSAT newsroom as well as Zoom to talk about our first episode of 2022 and the brand new season. Our focus is immigration here. Just that word probably brings about a lot of strong opinions and strong emotions for people. No matter where you stand, you can't forget the images because we know that South Texas has certainly been impacted. The thousands of migrants we saw in Del Rio last fall gathered under a bridge, most of them seeking asylum. In this episode, we're not going to focus on ways to fix U.S. immigration policy. We're going to talk about what is on the books right now. How does U.S. law treat someone who comes to the country seeking asylum? And Lexi, we know that that has gotten even more complicated because of the pandemic.
Right, as you mentioned, it's a system that is already complicated, but the pandemic, as it has done with everything, has further complicated the immigration system. So a lot of this episode, we really focus on something called Title 42. Title 42 is something that I think a lot of people had not heard about prior to March 2020. Basically what it is it is a little known provision in U.S. federal law that says the government can ban goods and people from entering if it's to prevent the spread of disease. So I talked to Erica Schomer. She is a professor at St. Mary's University Law School. She's also a practicing immigration law attorney. And she told us a little bit how this provision has completely thrown a wrench into the asylum system in the United States right now.
Under that authority, a directive was issued essentially saying we are not going to process people who want to request asylum. We can expose our Border Patrol agents to doing that.
And so, as you might imagine, that of course has thrown a wrench into the immigration system, and it has caused a lot of problems for people who want to come to the United States to claim asylum. We know that since March 2020, more than 1 million people have been expelled under Title 42, many of those who came to this country wanting to seek asylum.
We're also going to talk about why the backlog of immigration court cases existed long before the pandemic. We know COVID-19 complicated that and made that backlog even more severe, but there was a problem before March of 2020. So we're talking about some of the reasons that created that issue and looking really at how U.S. law treats someone who comes into the country illegally asking for asylum versus someone who is not seeking that kind of protection. So you can check out this new episode of our brand new season online right now, ksat.com/explains. Watch it on demand. Also, you can find it on the KSAT TV app. Season 6 of KSAT Explains is now underway.